Meatball. It wasn't the name his mama gave him, it was a nickname, earned during his college days for his legendary ability to consume ungodly amounts of spaghetti and meatballs. Now it was his call sign, his alias, his identity in the shadows. For Meatball had a secret, a power that set him apart. He could turn invisible. It wasn't a perfect invisibility. Clothes, weapons, anything he held stayed visible. But his body, gone, vanished. A flicker in the air, a subtle distortion, that's all that remained. This power, a gift from a chance encounter with a meteorite shard, had become his shield and his sword. Meatball wasn't a hero, not in the traditional sense. He wasn't out saving the world, but he used his abilities to help those in need, to right wrongs, to deliver justice with a side of phantom punches. His heart, despite the rough exterior, was pure gold. This made the betrayal he experienced all the more painful. King Roy, the self-proclaimed ruler of their online domain, a name whispered with fear and resentment. He hadn't started that way. Once he was just Roy, a fellow gamer, a friend even. But power, like a virus, had corrupted him, twisted him into something dark and dangerous. Roy's rise to infamy was swift and brutal. He formed a guild, Roy's Renegades, and through intimidation, manipulation and sheer ruthlessness, he seized control of valuable resources, virtual territories, and most importantly, information. He revelled in the fear he instilled, in the power he wielded over others. His greed knew no bounds. He sought to control everything and everyone. But there was one obstacle, one thorn in his side that refused to bend to his will: Meatball, the invisible man who dared to defy him. The rivalry was born from betrayal, fueled by anger, and destined for a bloody conclusion. They met in the virtual wasteland of Fallout 76, two survivors scavenging for supplies, battling mutated creatures, and trying to rebuild in a world gone mad. Meatball, still new to his powers, was hesitant, unsure of himself, but Roy, ever the charmer, had taken him under his wing. They spent countless hours together, exploring the irradiated landscape, sharing strategies, their laughter echoing through the desolate ruins. They had each other's backs, protecting each other from raiders, sharing their loot, finding solace in their shared experience. A bond of trust was forged in the crucible of that digital wasteland. They confided in each other, sharing secrets, dreams and fears. Meatball even revealed his invisibility to Roy, trusting him completely. It was a bond that felt unbreakable, a friendship that seemed destined to last. But fate, it seemed, had other plans. Section 4. The Fallout. A friendship shattered. The shift was subtle at first. Roy, growing in power, becoming more demanding, more ruthless. Meatball, uncomfortable with the changes, tried to reason with his friend, to remind him of who they were, what they stood for. But Roy wouldn't listen. The virus of power had taken root. Then came the betrayal. A valuable artifact, a game-changer, was discovered. They agreed to split it to share its benefits, but Roy, blinded by greed, wanted it all. He ambushed Meatball, leaving him for dead in the virtual wasteland, taking the artifact and their friendship, shattering both without a second thought. Meatball, wounded but alive, swore revenge. He would take down Roy, dismantle his empire, and reclaim what was stolen: their friendship, his trust, and the balance of power. The invisible man had become a wraith, seeking justice in the digital shadows. Section 5. Clashes in the shadows, a rivalry unsettled. Their battles became legendary, epic clashes in cyberspace, a blend of cunning strategy and brute force. Meatball, utilizing his invisibility, would strike from the shadows, disrupting Roy's operations, sabotaging his plans, always staying one step ahead. Roy, enraged by Meatball's defiance, threw everything he had at his former friend. He dispatched his best warriors, laid elaborate traps, even hired hackers to expose Meatball's identity. But Meatball, resourceful and determined, always managed to escape, leaving a trail of chaos and confusion in his wake. Their rivalry became a stalemate, neither side able to gain a decisive advantage. But with every encounter, the stakes escalated, the battles becoming more personal, more desperate. It was clear that this shadow war could only end in one way: the complete and utter destruction of one of them.